Today I'm going to talk about buying coins on eBay to make a profit. And this video will focus specifically on the buying part of it. Obviously, to make a profit, you also have to sell. This video will focus just on buying, and I'll make a video about selling later. And I know there's many places to buy coins. Some people buy on eBay, some people buy from auction houses or local dealers or even from local collectors. This video will focus specifically on buying on eBay and specifically one method I use. Some people will buy on eBay by focusing on a particular type of coin or a particular denomination. This is a particular opportunistic approach that I take to consistently find coins that are underpriced or that have a lot of upside potential. What I highly recommend is that you set up some bookmarks that are your go-to searches, and you check them every day or every couple days, and you get in the habit of doing that, because the best opportunities that you'll find will reveal themselves through persistence, and it's unusual that you'll find a real great opportunity, the first time you go looking. Sometimes I've set a particular particular bookmark, and it took me weeks or months before I found a really big winner. But sometimes when you find a winner, it's an opportunity to make many thousands of dollars. So it can be worth the wait and checking every day or a couple days. If you look at the amount of time you invest in aggregate, might not actually be all that much time. So it's really worth it, and it's worth having those preset searches at the ready so that it's easy for you. And the bookmarked search that I absolutely recommend you have is, and again, this is a very opportunistic way to think about this, is a search for all US coins. I focus specifically on US coins. All US coins that have bids. These are auction format listings that have bids that are over a certain dollar amount. And the special thing here is the filter for having bids no longer is a feature or a filter that you can access through eBay. It is only, it was something that you used to be able to do, which I bookmarked a long time ago, which now I can still use, and I'll share the link with you in the comments section below for my bookmark, so you guys can use it as well. And so you actually can't do this if you go and try to do it from the beginning today, but if you have an old link, it will still work. The reason I filter specifically for auctions that have bids is because I want to filter out all the junk that exists on eBay. There's buy it now listings that are priced way too high. There's auctions with no bids, but the starting bid is way higher than the coin is worth. And there's a ton of low-priced coins that are a true auction format, but are just too low-priced, too common to be worth our time. So by filtering for auctions that have bids that are above a certain price point, usually I do either $100 or $300, I'm getting essentially the cream of the crop. eBay listings that are a true auction format, that have validation from the community that has actually put bids on these things. People have said, okay, I'm willing to pay $100 or $300 or a lot more for this particular item. And I'm getting that across all the different US coin listing categories. There are tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people bidding on US coins on eBay. There's no way that I could duplicate all the scanning that they're doing across all those different categories. So essentially, by them placing their bids on those auctions and then me filtering for those auctions that have bids, I'm leveraging all the work that they've done to get a refined list of like the juiciest auctions across eBay. So this is a way for you to really cut down on your search time, get a cream of the crop list of auctions to look at, and make it so that you have the best chance of finding something that's potentially a really, really good deal. So let's put this to practice. I'm going to open my over $300 with bids bookmark, and I can see there's 688 listings. I'm going to change this from over $300 to over 100, so I have more options, and I can see there's over 2,200 auctions that meet the criteria. So I'm going to pause for a second and just explain a little bit about what I'm doing here. So these auctions are organized chronologically, with those that are ending soonest showing up first. And what I'm looking for is a few things. First off, I'm looking for coins that are oftentimes raw from small sellers or people that don't normally sell coins. So maybe like a pawn shop that has a lot of sales volume, but doesn't actually do a lot of coin sales volume. Somebody that's not an actual rare coin specialist. So that's the first. Raw coins from people that generally don't sell a lot of coins, which often indicates that it's somebody that is selling maybe their parents' collection or something that walked in through the door, but they don't really have a lot of specialist knowledge. I'm also looking for coins that have upgrade potential. So if you see coins that are in a old green holder or a rattler, old NGC holder, or oftentimes the old small annex slabs, I'll often take a look at those. Oftentimes they're nothing special, but every now and then you'll see something that's really, really good. And then I'm also looking for higher value coins from lesser traded coin series. So, for example, if you see a raw seated Liberty quarter that has, it's $4 or $5 or $6 or $700, I'll usually pause and take a look at that, because oftentimes the price points for those coins aren't super well defined, especially for the rarer dates. And there's a lot of opportunity to sometimes buy a raw coin and sell it for, get it certified, sell it for a lot more, or sometimes just the retail markup for a better date seated Liberty coin from when it's being sold at auction versus when you go to sell it as maybe a buy it now or sell it at a coin shop. There's actually a lot of money to be made there. What I'm not looking for, what I try to avoid, is certified coins with really well-established price points. So for example, if it's an 87.0 Morgan dollar in PCGS MS65, that coin is, even in auction format, is going to sell for pretty much its full value, and it's not worth taking my time to try to make 5 or 10% on it, especially not after eBay fees. I also don't look at anything that's an unsearched or unopened roll or unsearched lot of whatever. Those are all garbage in my experience. And then I'm also generally avoiding anything that is being sold by somebody that looks like they do this for a living. So generally speaking, if somebody's running a coin shop or they're a professional coin dealer, it's hard to make money off those eBay listings. Oftentimes they're selling their crap on eBay. It's clean coins, it's problem coins. The picture might be deceptive. So if you click on a listing and you see, okay, this person has 1,000 things up for sale, it looks like they have a professional photography rig, you're probably not going to make much money there. So usually I just move on. So back to scrolling here, you can see a lot of Morgan dollars, a lot of modern coins. They generally skip over those. That's a counterfeit 46.0 seated Liberty dollar. You can just tell from just the thumbnail picture. Another counterfeit seated Liberty dollar, 1870 CC dollar. Oftentimes I'll take a look at those because the margins on early Carson City coins, oftentimes you can have a nice retail markup. Peace dollars, nothing fancy. I'll take a look at this 57.0 Morgan or seated half. Sometimes there's a nice markup on seated halves. I always have Heritage open. That's where I check most of my coin prices, and I just want to check if this is a coin that has
a lot of price flexibility in XF and AU grades for the 57.0. And looks like there's a, yeah, so there's one that sold last year for 150 something dollars in XF45. So buying a PCGS XF40 for 130 or $140 isn't going to do me any good. Rolls, Carson City dollars, nothing here. Modern coins, not my thing. Modern coins, lots, modern coins. Let's see. Come on. So you can see there's just a lot of sifting, even when you're going through this cream of the crop process. There's a lot of sifting to still find stuff that aligns to the center of your bullseye. But this does kind of whittle it down to a much shorter list of auctions that you can sift through. So I do 200 a page. There's nothing on that page that really caught my eye. Here's a 39S Walking Liberty half in an old Annex holder. I'm going to check if there's a jump in price from 64 to 65. I've had good success sometimes upgrading coins in the old Annex holders, especially when it's coin that doesn't look like it's been on the market for a long time. It's coin coming from maybe a small seller that's liquidating an old collection they have. In this case, even the 65s don't look like they're worth all that much more than the 64 is, so I'm just going to keep going. Keep going. More of those fake unopened rolls. Any unopened Morgan or Peace dollar roll that you see on eBay, I almost guarantee you is something that was made in someone's living room in the past year. They're pretty much all fake. I mean, the coins are real, but they're not an original roll. So you can see, I've been doing this for a long time. I get really fast at kind of sifting quickly and seeing just, I'll know when I see a coin that's something that would potentially be a fit for me. All this stuff that looks like it's from people that do this for a living. The pictures are all professional and tight and cropped and look nice. Not going to be for us. Anything that's commemorative, the margins on commems, it just doesn't make sense. There's no profit margin there. It's a decent looking 1912 SV nickel, but that's a date that the margins on have really compressed. The better date GSA dollars sometimes we'll take a closer look at. That one looks like it could be a 64, maybe a 65. I'll add it to my watch list to take a closer look at later. But sometimes those are worth a closer look. 72cc half dollar. 1891. So this date Morgan dollar has a really nice spread from 63 to 64 and then 64 to 65. This one is in some old holder from the 1980s. Looks like it's maybe a 63 or 64. This is another coin that I'll add to my watch list and might place a bid on later. And then 1864 S quarter. So this is a real nice date in the seeded quarter series. It's one of the toughest Civil War dates for seeded quarters, and I think even in low circulated grades, the price is pretty strong. So here's certified VG8 sold for $1,000. Even problem coins that are VG details are $450, $500. Another VG8 that sold for 860 something. Let's just check the price for a G6. So yeah, I mean, kind of a G to VG coin. They're all kind of $850 to $1,000. This looks like a problem-free coin to me. I'm not seeing much hairlining. It's from a seller that isn't too big, kind of like a casual collector who sometimes sells some stuff. So I'm going to use, I'm going to place a snipe bid on this for 522, which if I buy it and then certify it, and it comes back as a G6 or VG8, it's a $900 coin, give or take, and I'll make $300 or $350. And if it is comes back as VG cleaned or whatever, I'll maybe lose $50 or whatever. But that's the sort of math I'm always doing in my head: is what's the worst case scenario? Worst case, it comes back VG cleaned or good cleaned, and I get $450 or $400 out of it. I lose 50 or $100. The upside is comes back good 6 or VG8 as a straight grade, and I can make $300 or $400. It's always trying to protect downside and chase after things with good upside. Here's a VAM, $1878 with one of the better VAMs. I always check these. I don't have all the VAMs memorized for 1878, but there's some really, really valuable ones, and sometimes they slip under the radar on eBay. So you can get one of the better VAMs that'll sell for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and you'll pay $1,000 or $1,500, and you can just flip it and make a nice upside that way. Here's a $95 looks like a VF30, VF35, maybe lightly cleaned at one point, but nothing too bad. I'm not really seeing a little bit of a piece taken out of the rim there, but I'll check the price on it just to see if there's any potential. I'll check the price for like a VF30. I do almost all my price checking looking at Heritage Auction Records. I don't use the gray sheet. I don't use the red book. I just want to look at what things have sold for at auction. And I find Heritage is the best place to do that. And their auction records are free. They're a great asset to the rare coin community. So every day I just do this search. I scroll for what are the auctions closing in the next day or two that are over $100. And usually I'll place 3 to 5 bids. Sometimes more than that. Sometimes I won't find anything. And I probably win like half the time, give or take. The bid will win. And then every couple months, if it's a bunch of raw coins that I've bought, I'll send them off to get graded. I found that I'm pretty good at grading just based off the pictures. That's definitely a skill that develops over time. But there's also a way to do this by just focusing on certified coins, although generally I find you won't have as many big wins if you just focused on certified coins. You'll see generally smaller margins. One way that you can kind of protect yourself while still go after good upside with certified coins is by chasing after coins that you think will upgrade and then not paying much more than whatever the actual grade on the current holder is. Generally, it's a pretty safe strategy. But yeah, I found this definitely works for me. You also just, in general, will see a lot of cool material this way. By the way, anytime you see one of these pictures where the contrast seems totally blown out, I would recommend you just skip over those auctions. That person's trying to trick you in some way, shape, or form. Here's a 55S half equal. This looks like it's in a holder of some sort. It might be one of the grading companies that's not allowed on eBay, so it might be like a I'm forgetting the name of it, but just one of those kind of fake grading companies. This guy's not selling too much stuff, and most of what he is selling, it just kind of looks like junk. But a 55S half eagle, if I can get it at something close to melt, there's upside in those coins. That's a $3 gold, so don't ignore that price. But yeah, here's an XF40 that sold for $800 and something. And even the ones that have problems sell for $500, give or take, dollars. This coin looks like it could, it kind of looks lightly cleaned in the picture, but it could potentially be a straight gradable coin. I use Auction Stealer to add snipe bids, so I'm going to put in a bid here for 444. And that way, you know, if it's cleaned, I'm not losing anything. If it does straight grade, I can do pretty well. It's a 2.5 Indian. The margins for, or the price jumps from 62 to 63 to 64 and 65 for Indians has been crushed. So it's pretty rare that I'll buy those raw on eBay anymore. It's just not worth it. Let's see. Anything else? No, I think that might be it for this video. Well, this shows you just kind of the general process I take. There's a bunch of other bookmark searches that I do every day, but this is one that I find consistently yields me some interesting coins, and excited to share it with you all.